Welcome to the Newman podcast. We'll feature stories and conversations from the staff, lecturers, parishioners, musicians, and friends of Newman University Church and the Notre Dame Newman Centre for Faith and Reason in Dublin, Ireland. I am your host, Katherine Dunn, Director of IT and Communications here at Newman, and today my guest is Lizo McMahon, the Director of the House of Brigid. Welcome, Lizo.
Hello, thanks for having me, Katherine.
It's so great to have you on our second episode of our internationally reviewed podcast.
I love that so much.
Thank you for joining me in my office today.
Ooh.
So today we're going to talk to Lizo about this program, House of Brigid, she's in. Yeah. And then we're going to debrief something our choir did the other week, which was sing for Mass on RTÉ, which is like the national broadcaster in Ireland.
It's like the NBC, the ABC of
the CBS.
Ireland.
It's like going to like
WCCO.
New York and like being on Good Morning America, kind of, but not really.
Absolutely.
But you're doing Mass on Good Morning America.
Yeah. So we're famous, is basically what we're saying.
We're on the telly. So Lizo, who are you?
I'm Lizo. I'm from Minnesota, and I went to Marquette University, and I majored in biomedical sciences and theology. And I'm the house director of House of Brigid here. So I've been in House of Brigid now for about 2 years. And House of Brigid is a postgraduate volunteer opportunity in ministry. It definitely started more on like a music ministry base, and it still has a lot of those fundamental and founding values, but it's also grown a lot more, and we have a lot more opportunity for evangelization and social media ministry. But ultimately, I think our biggest thing that we do is a ministry of presence here at Newman. So just chatting with people and building relationships, making the community at Newman welcoming and vibrant and fun and everything like that.
Very good. That was a good summary. I think I'm going to ask what everyone is wondering is, what came first, you Lizo or the other singer Lizo?
I am the OG Lizo, and it's Lizo with one Z. Hot take. Hot take.
That's her nickname, if anyone's wondering.
Elizabeth by birth, but I won't really respond to that.
It's funny because, like, it's like a weird nickname because of Lizo the singer.
Yeah,
it
now
probably
it's
wasn't
weird.
Before.
No.
But when you first came, it always felt like strange. Like, that's not your formal government name.
No, every time I tell someone that name, they're always like, huh?
Are
what?
You sure? One of the ladies in choir calls her Lisa. So
every time, every day. Good morning, Lisa.
She's the only one, though. She's allowed to at this point.
Yeah, that is my name at this point.
But now, I'm like, of course her name's Lizo. I don't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
So when I refer to you to other people, they're like, excuse me? You work with the singer, Lizo?
In which case you would say, yes, I do.
Yes. Yeah, Lizo is doing a program called House of Brigid. The Irish name is Chalk Breed, which...
Yes, yeah.
There's another house that's in Wexford that is going to be taking a break next year, but has been in Wexford for over 15 years, I think.
Yeah, 15 years is the 15th year, yeah.
And they call it Chalk Breed there a lot more.
Yeah, we're definitely more known as House of Brigid in Dublin and Chalk Breed in Wexford.
Yeah. But a little fun fact is that I did House of Brigid.
Yes.
And I did it for 2 years, too.
You did it for 2 years in both communities.
I know. I was a trendsetter.
Very different communities, as you would well know.
Very different. I was in Wexford Town for the first year and Dublin the second. One time someone asked me, like, did you get to choose where you went? And I was like, no. I didn't. I got put in Wexford. And I loved Wexford. It's, like, very... Ireland, like more than Dublin here. Like,
oh yeah,
you work with Irish people.
By Americans here.
It's a real immersive program, and then you come up here and it's half and half. Yeah. Like, you work with a lot of Americans because Father Gary's American, and our old music director was American. But yeah, I'm going to read the House of Brigid mission statement, or like about section, just to kind of reiterate what Lizo said. So the ministry of the House of Brigid communities includes a variety of liturgical and catechetical responsibilities. House fellows organize parish programming, plan masses, direct choirs, support the catechesis of school children and adults, prepare and offer retreats, and bring their ministry to the greater Irish Church through workshops. In addition, House of Brigid fellows are available to their parish colleagues for whatever work can be done in support of the parish. A fellow's particular responsibilities may look different depending on their experience, skill set, and the needs of their community. So I'm going to ask you the famous question that applicants always ask us, which is like, what's a typical day for House of Brigid?
To which, having done it for nearly 2 years now, I would say, I don't know.
There is no typical
There is
day.
no typical day. Every day is different. And based off of like what you just said, kind of all the different things we do, every single fellow might be doing something else. So like my day is going to look different than Jane's or than Megan's, than Emily's. That's my community this year. But yeah, a lot of it is like setting up for events and then all of the prep before that as well. So with RTÉ, we'll chat a little bit later about all the prep that goes into, getting ready for an event, choir, marketing, all those different things you got to be thinking about. So getting other people, other parishioners involved in things is a big thing. So you're constantly thinking about the next thing and making sure you're kind of checking all the boxes.
And I think a lot of people don't realize for any event or liturgy or prayer service that any church does, but us, we feel it in particular, is so much detailing goes into it so that when you go to Mass, you don't think any detail went into it or any thought went into it. It just runs smoothly. But then, like, we've talked about everything.
Yeah.
Someone after our remembrance service in November was like, oh, it was so cool how the readings got from like, and we think we went from dark to light or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah
that was
we had a meeting about that. What do you think I do all week? But it was very sweet in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, like Taizé is a big thing too, that we're always making sure that we've got readers for Taizé and we're writing the reading, or not writing the readings, but finding the readings, writing the prayers for the end of Taizé. So that's another big thing that we do. Meg and I have started working with Loretto this year, so that's been really exciting.
Yeah, a local girls' school. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been conducting and directing a choir there, so that's been super fun, and I've been accompanying, which has been very good to grow my confidence in piano.
Yeah, could you imagine 2 years ago you were going to do that?
No, I never could have imagined that.
I know. I think you grow so much in this program because you kind of get thrown into the deep end at times.
It's baptism by fire.
Yeah. But I think it's great.
Yeah, it's important.
So what has been your favorite event you've done in the last 2 years or attended?
Oh, I think specifically last year's wedding mass was really exciting because it was the first one and you and I did a lot of work on that.
We did.
And it just was a lot to set it all up and make it happen for the first time. And for it to have gone as well as it did that day, that day was perfect. Everything went perfectly. It was so fun to see the church so full. It was more full than it was on Christmas, on Easter.
Yeah.
It was, and the music was beautiful. Like every song we sang, I just wanted to sing. Oh, Love. Singing that in the choir that day was like one of my favorite memories.
Look it up on our YouTube. Oh, Love.
So good.
Yeah.
That's a banger.
Yeah, that was really fun. Because I came to Lizo, I was like, okay, we're doing this project. Let's figure out all these details. And then, like, the years after, you kind of have already thought through a lot of things, but we were just starting at square one.
Yeah.
What are the boards going to look like when we hang up the pictures?
How are we going to hang them?
How are we going to invite people? How do we know how many people are coming?
Yeah.
What are we going to serve? Oh, that was really fun.
Yeah, and then it's like, will people that actually submit their photos, will they actually come?
Yeah.
Will they come even if they've RSVP'd?
I think I spend 60% of my time thinking about whether people are going to come to something.
Yeah.
And because, like, you could do all the preparation and no one comes. And you're like, crap. That's why I feel like I need to start showing up to other people's events more.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
I feel...
Because I feel that. I'm like, oh, I want to help you.
Yeah.
Because I know what you're going through.
That was a very good event.
Yeah.
Okay, so your time with House of Brigid is coming to an end.
It is.
She'll be done at the end of June. It's mid-April right now.
It's very scary.
I'm in denial about it. I'm sure you are.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This happens every year, though. I've worked here almost 5 years, and, like, people leave, and like, I can't imagine being here without you. Yeah. And, like, I didn't know you 2 years ago. Anyway.
I know.
What has surprised you about this time in your life in Dublin?
I think just all of the ways that, like, I've said yes to things. And, like, trying different things. Like, I don't know. I guess my background with my faith is slightly unique in that it wasn't very strong before I got here. And in college, I really found theology fascinating, and I found talking about religion and the way it interacts with different systems in the world very fascinating, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I had like a really strongly rooted faith. I didn't really know, like, genuinely, I felt very confused by what prayer was and all of that, and that was part of why I said yes to House of Brigid, was like, I would love to go and do this for 2 years. Or for a year, actually. I didn't even want to stay for a second year at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I was like, I feel like it could be really good for me to just explore my faith in a prayer sense rather than like a logical classroom sense. And so just, I think like the way that I love going to daily mass is probably the most shocking thing for me, because I remember reading on like the pamphlet about House of Brigid once I got in that you go to daily mass every day, and I was like, what on earth? That's a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing. So I think that's something that really has shocked me, because like when I don't have it, if there's like a week or something going on where we have to be gone for a daily mass, whether that's like maybe a Loretto event or a different ecumenical prayer service or something, I really do feel kind of unsettled maybe a little. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how I find that when I'm in med school and finding the routine of prayer and such, because here it's just it's such a part of your daily life, and like every single day there's time for prayer, but it's gonna be very different.
Yeah, I was just thinking how that is such good routine. Yeah. And when you move, it's gonna be growing pains.
Yeah, lots of growing pains.
What then? So this kind of ties into that. What will you miss when you're gone from here? Daily mass, but like what else?
Yeah. I think I'm going to miss the music the most.
Oh, yeah. We've got some good music.
We've got some good music. And I just, again, it's funny saying this out loud, because it's like, I came from not a very, like, strong faith background, but I was interested. And same thing with music. Like, I played piano growing up, but, like, wasn't really expecting to do anything with it. And so, just the push that I've made in the last year, I feel like has been really big with music, and like feeling my confidence again, and like finding that love for music rather than like the fear of messing up one note on the piano. Yeah, I don't know. I think that we're surrounded by such a humble community of such talented musicians. So it makes it so easy to grow as a singer, as an accompanist. Like, it's just incredible how much fun I have singing in Vocari. I think Vocari is going to be that's the one I'm going to miss every Sunday. Yeah. I'm going to wish I was singing with everyone.
Vocari is our choir that sings on Sunday evenings for Mass, and it's mostly 20 and 30-year-olds, and there's some professional singers and musicians, but a lot of amateurs as well. Yeah. So what are you looking forward to in your next chapter then?
Well, I'm starting medical school in July, so I've always wanted to go to medical school. I've always known that that's my goal, and honestly, like, that was just kind of the thing I needed to do in life, was get into med school. Everything from here on out will fit into place. But I am excited to kind of get back into the academic grind of life. I'm sure I'll regret saying that in a couple months.
This audio for you in November. I can see how you feel about it.
Yeah, when I'm studying for my board exams, ask me again.
Well, Lizo has been just a huge blessing to our community and our office, and she's always just good crack, as they'd say here, as I would say, and we'll miss her a lot.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, well, let's move on to this next topic.
Let's.
So we went to RTÉ, and we did Mass, and I think we just want to, like, talk through the prep we did for it, and then what happened on the day of, because it's kind of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So preparation-wise, I know they got in contact with our music director, Dominique, after we sang at Dublin Castle last August.
Yeah.
So we've known this was on the books for a while. You did a lot more prep for it than I think I did. I did, like, maybe musical prep, but what were you guys up to? How's Brigid?
Yeah. So a big thing for us was making sure that the choir was organized to get there, because it was a bit of a different time than we normally would sing. It was very early. And making sure everyone had, like, a way to get to RTÉ, since it's out in Donnybrook. But yeah, Jane did a good job of kind of figuring out who was available that day, and from there we went on to prep all of the music that Dominique had planned out for the day. So organizing, making sure every singer's binder is organized in order with all of the music. We used our little travel binders that we use for the Dublin Castle just because they're lighter in weight.
We have special binders. We are probably the most organized music church of, I can't speak. We are the most organized when it comes to our music.
Yeah. Yeah, our library is very detailed.
It's alphabetized.
I'm re-alphabetizing the organ drawer just for fun because...
Not for fun. For people's
for good
sanity.
reason. Just for sanity.
Yeah.
Because if you can't find something in the moment, you're not going to be able to find it.
Yeah.
If it's gone forever if it's in the wrong spot.
Yeah. And we had a rehearsal for Mass as well, which is funny. I don't know who listening has ever had a rehearsal for Mass, but it's strange because you're like, this is not consecration. Or like,
yeah.
Oh, do I have to pay attention to this homily?
Exactly. And then you're like, okay, we have to do another rehearsal at RTÉ on the day of.
Yeah.
So then by the time you're done with it, you're
like,
listening to the same Mass 3 times.
Again. No, we showed up to RTÉ on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And like it is a little exciting, just in that you're like, ooh, I'm at the TV
You're in the studios.
Ooh, that's a green room. Like, here's a fancy couch.
Yeah.
And they're just
the couches were really
here.
comfy.
They were like, oh, I did like those couches.
Mm-hmm.
I said it was a good like green room couch, but I wouldn't want that couch in my house.
Yes.
Because you can't like lounge on it.
Yeah, no. You wouldn't be able to take a nap on it.
Anyway.
These are the qualities of good couches.
And then they were taking people aside to get their makeup done, which is just something we don't normally do on a Sunday.
Yeah, I gotta say, Father Gary coming in with a full face of makeup was one of my favorite moments of that day.
We have a
no
really
doubt.
fun picture of him getting touch-ups and like in his vestments getting makeup touch-ups. I put that on in the newsletter and I got multiple texts about it, which just made me feel good because I'm like, people
look at the
reading
newsletter.
We send it out every Monday. But yeah.
Yeah.
So we went into like the studio part and did a little rehearsal, and it's just all the bright lights and the cameras.
The lights were very bright.
Yeah. And like everyone, we did like a walkthrough, and it's just, you feel like you're, I don't know, Jimmy Fallon or something.
I know. It was really exciting. What was funny though is when we were singing through things, we're so used to being up in our gallery in our little safe space at Newman University Church, and being at RTÉ, it was a completely different environment to be singing in. And so the way that they had to position Dominique and some of the musicians was very different from what we would normally have. So if you, like for you were on the complete opposite end. I bet you could hardly hear the organ.
All I could hear was Harry behind me. One of the tenors.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I heard all Mass.
Yeah, and so it was like super important to constantly be looking at Dominique, but then Dominique wasn't even in the middle because she had to be
Just
at a
for,
certain
like, how
spot
it looked,
for how it looks and everything. So it was a little like, panic. And you felt like you were singing into a wet paper towel compared to the acoustics in our church.
It's like, I was like, there's no way this sounds good on TV.
I was actually thinking we were going to sound terrible. And then you listen back and it sounded good.
Yeah,
so the mics picked up well.
Fine. But it's just funny, like, seeing everyone mic'd up and stuff. And we had a little bit of a congregation of our parishioners.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, like, usually the choir's up in the gallery. We don't really sit face to face with our congregation.
Oh my
And
gosh,
that day we were like, you were going to listen to us.
right across from them.
Right into you. But it was fun. It was a lot of Easter rep because we were in the Easter season still.
Yeah, very happy.
And then we went back to the green room after and had some sandwiches, and they started playing the Mass on the TVs in there, which, if you're keeping track, was the 4th time we had done that Mass. Or, like, seen or heard that Mass.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because all of us were like, oh my gosh. It's so much
then you get to see the
closer.
The angles that you're getting, hoping they're good.
But I think we were all happy with how it sounded and looked, and I think it's on the RTÉ player still if you really want to go watch us.
Go catch a peek. It was April 14th, 2024.
Yeah.
So it was an exciting day, but lots of prep going into it and making sure like we're getting readers for it. Something last minute that came up the day before was
fun drama.
Finding out that we needed a congregation at RTÉ.
Yeah. They failed to mention that in our rehearsal on Monday.
So less than 24 hours before, we were frantically texting and calling any and all parishioners possible.
And some people were like, nah, I don't want to be on television. And I'm like, honestly, I don't blame you.
Yeah, that's true. And it was an early call time for everyone.
8 o'clock to come be a congregation. But we managed it. Also, there was like the drama of, because we still had Mass at our church, even though we're doing Mass in the TV studio. So we needed a cantor and organist to stay. Yeah. So our morning cantor, James, was going to stay. And then he got sick.
And that's the tough part about being a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
you're sick, you can't sing.
So he was sick, so Megan in the House of Brigid cantored instead. So Lizo ended up getting to go.
Yeah, I originally was gonna stay back, and I was a little bummed, but like, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's part of House of Brigid and the Newman staff is we work as a team, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. And there was Mass at Newman, and we gotta do that for our parishioners. So I was gonna stay back and help out, but then when James got sick, Megan is an incredible singer, so she stayed back to cantor, which meant that we did a little last minute switch up on Saturday for that as well, and I got to go sing at RTÉ, which was nice. And also it was good because all of the rep we were doing was all of our classics that Voc and I love singing together, so I knew the music and all the different dynamics and bits, which was nice.
Yeah. Everyone loves a good WhatsApp group to figure out all those deets.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I think that's enough for today for this episode of the Newman Podcast.
Love that. Make sure you guys go check out our Mass on RTÉ Player.
And also, we live stream Mass every week. So we were kind of used to getting filmed because every 6:15 p.m. Mass during the year and then 11 a.m. in the summers, we live stream Mass. So you can tune in on our YouTube channel.
Good plan.
Great. Maybe we should watch together this week.
I would love that so much. See you at 6:15 p.m.
I'll see you there. Okay. Thanks for coming on, Lizo.
Thanks for having me, Katherine.
Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in 5 minutes because we work together.
I love that.
Okay. This podcast was produced and recorded by the Notre Dame Newman Center for Faith and Reason. Founded in 2017 by the University of Notre Dame at the invitation of the Archbishop of Dublin, the Center fosters the lively interplay of faith and intellectual inquiry to inform and deepen our understanding of God and the modern world. Inspired by Saint John Henry Newman, the Center seeks to make God known, loved, and served through concerts, lectures, masses, and prayers designed especially for the young urban adult who live and work in Dublin City Centre. Our efforts of evangelization are aided by a robust social media presence and by coordination with other Catholic and ecumenical groups. The center is situated at Newman University Church, Our Lady Seat of Wisdom, a small but thriving parish community in St. Stephen's Green. Visit newman.nd.edu or follow any of our socials at ND Newman Center for more information.